Ooh. Ooh, how much is it? Hey, big shout out to Mr. JR Star 3 for the raid, guys. Thank you so much. Give us a minute here, and we're gonna be ready to go. I'm just trying to get everything ready with the guys. Hey, Chad, let's find out. Mr. Bick asked, in a WWF matchup between all the Knights of Teleria, Jay, PJ, Gesto, myself, Ken, and Mr. Zero Brew, along with our guest today, Mr. I Am Roblox, who would win? Who would win the cage match? Let us know.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Knights of Teleria podcast. Thank you all for joining us on this beautiful Sunday afternoon, which, by the way, is almost a national holiday in the United States because it's Super Bowl Sunday. And you guys took the time to come here and stay and watch us. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. You know what? Before we start off the podcast and we ask everybody how their week is, I want to know, are you guys, I think it's the Chiefs and the Steelers or the Eagles? The Eagles, correct? So
Chiefs, Eagles, yeah.
Chiefs, Eagles. All right. So who are you guys voting for on the Super Bowl? Let's go with Zero first.
I'm rooting on Zero Brew winning the Battle Royale.
Woo! Styling, styling. You can't deal with a 6'5", 240 pound smoke you in the ring. Woo! Ask me about the Super Bowl. I don't know. I don't care. I don't care.
Okay.
Maybe let the Eagles win one. The Chiefs and the whole Taylor Swift thing annoys the crap out of me. So maybe I'll be pulling for the Eagles today. But I know as soon as this podcast is over, I'm going to my buddy's house and he has old fashions ready for your boy Zero Brew. Let's go.
Awesome. Roblox, what about you? Who are you voting for?
I'm a Commanders fan. I can't cheer for the Eagles. Let's go Chiefs.
Okay. Jay?
I guess I'll go Eagles.
Eagles. Okay. All right. Gestel?
Yes, I'm a Giants fan, so I can't root for the Eagles. I'm not really rooting for anyone, but I definitely can't root for the Eagles.
Okay. Ken's like, I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, I have no idea, man. I just watch beach volleyball only. I don't know, like, I'm sorry.
Awesome. PJ, what about you?
I hope it's a good game. I don't really care who wins. I wouldn't mind. I mean, I'm not a hater of Mahomes or any of that. I know a lot of people don't like him. I wouldn't mind seeing like a three-peat, see some history, been done before. I think it'd be cool.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. What's chat saying? We got. Am I missing something here? It looks like only one chat's working, so I'm gonna have to fix that. I'm gonna go for the Eagles because there was a movie a while ago that I watched that really about the guy who was just like a garbage man and became like the quarterback or something. So yeah,
Wide receiver, yeah.
yeah. And I really like that
Invincible.
story. Yeah, Invincible.
Marky
That's right.
Mark.
That's right.
Marky Mark.
Yeah, I like that movie, so I'm gonna go with that. While I get things going on here, let's start off with our first panelist, Mr. Final Kenpachi. Ken, what is going on this week? How are you doing, brother?
Doing good, man. Got my second Siffy actually these 2 weeks. I only opened 20. No, I opened 30, my bad. But yeah, I got her on my kind of fresh merge, so I was like 18. I was really hoping for the queen, but can't complain. Siffy, even the second one, we take it, you know. So I'm happy about it. So how about you guys? What you guys think?
Are you gonna build her or are you?
I already
build
build her. Yeah, because I mean, plus one Siffy is going to do nothing. So I mean, and
Okay.
I'm not sure I'm going to get plus two anytime soon. Also, you guys know I love Taktim Arena. She can help me there. And the Siege, man. The champion on the Siege are very, very important.
Okay.
If you don't have a big roster, you know, which is I don't.
All right. Let me ask you now. Are you going to be one of those ones that drops down to Silver 4 before the patch goes in so you could double abuse your double Sifi against a single Siegfried?
Oh, live arena, you mean?
Yes.
Not really, to be honest. I just try to win, man. I don't
Okay.
care about this kind of small things here.
Really? Because last week you gave us that clip where you soloed that Siegfried with the Sifi.
Wait, are we gonna be dropped to the silver tier too after they reset?
I don't know if we are or not, but
Oh,
I'm asking,
hopefully not, man. I don't wanna face the double armas, dude. Like seriously.
All right. Gestel, how have you been this week, man? Any insane, crazy pulls?
Well, I pulled 72 voids, trying to get the queen. I did not get the queen, but I finally pulled Georgid. I tried pulling Georgid.
Wow.
Nice.
I think I missed 17 times on a 10x, 15x hitting a Lego and not getting the George on his whatever amped 10x versions during his pulls. So I finally pulled him. He's kind of fallen out of the meta, I feel like, a little bit, especially with like He-Man and whatnot. But I'm happy to have him. I'm happy. I would have rather gotten the queen, but happy to get him. But even better than that, I got the 6-star blessing for Shuzen yesterday in the shop. Bought it, put it on 15 more speed. Here we go.
Nice. PJ, what about you? How are you doing?
Doing well, not nearly as lucky on the shard pull. Sadly, I pulled I think 47, just some epics, some rares. I wasn't really near Mercy, so I wasn't expecting anything, but always hoping with the 2x voids. But yeah, watched some UFC yesterday. It was not the best, but it was something. And then excited for the Super Bowl coming up in a few hours, and also excited to talk about Raid with you guys.
Okay. Jay, what about you? I know you look a little faded out on the screen. I'm trying to fix that right now, but how was your week, Ben, bro?
He's a ghost.
Oh, pretty good, man. Pretty much just been, doing a little bit of Got the Cat's Gaze, been playing, helping other people out. I got like 3 people's Lydia's we're going to be getting. We got 2 people's Marius's done. And I am finally finishing and getting my Ramontu finally. And then I'll start heading for Marius
how many
myself.
years now?
It's probably been like 2 years working on it. But yeah, my account's not priority. I play the game and help content. I help other people. That's what I do.
Jay's for the people.
Exactly. But I've also been playing some other games on the side, so I've been having fun.
Okay. Mr. Iron Roadblocks, what's going on, man? How you been? Haven't seen you in a while. How's the move?
The move was rough, but we're good. I have an office now, so I don't have to worry about my family being right over here off camera. So that's nice. And I've been doing really good this week. Been having some pretty good luck in the free-to-play challenge. I'm in 6th place on that, and then I got on my super stacked free-to-play account that I know you love, Blazin. I got another Void Lego. I got Narcissus on that account now too. So
you, my friend, are yeah. Dabmaster, what's going on with you?
What's going on? I feel like the movie with Indiana Jones, and he's gotten the treasure. He's worked really hard to get the treasure, and the damn boulder is following him. Except for I'm tripping over myself, and the boulder's running me over. I just can't get caught up in life at all. So yeah, just grinding away. The free to play challenge. I'm only 27th. Mr. Roadblocks flexing his 6th spot, which is well deserved. So I'm in the middle of the pack. It's been a grind, and just trying to put out the content. Had daddy daughter dance on Friday, so that was fun.
Aww.
So yeah, really enjoyed that. She told me twice that she loved me, so that means that's good for a 10-year-old. To get that to pull that out of them unwarranted is good. So yeah, it's been good times. We got Super Bowl tonight, so excited about that. No stream tonight.
Nice. So this week's actually been kind of a hell week for me. Thank God I was able to pre-record some stuff at the beginning of the week, but work is just so crazy. I think I did at yesterday, I had to be punched out at 7:30 or I was going to hit 60 hours DOT violation, and it was hell. Other than that, though, I've got a video coming out tonight or tomorrow morning for what I pulled for shards. And all I'm going to say is after 5 years, I finally pulled one. And my response to it was, I really, really hate this game right now.
Classic.
So, it's, oh, God, no, not that bad. But it's still pretty bad. According to Gestel, though, this particular champion has made a comeback. So we'll see how that goes. Let's jump right into it, right? First of all, let's take a look at the rewards for the Classic Arena. Now, I don't know why with the current event that's going on, but we're getting Plarium pay points for the first place. I'm just curious, does anybody find any value to this whatsoever? Ken?
I mean, if I was like, I don't know, 1,000 point away, like 700 point away, sure. I am like 4 year away,
Chat, what about
basically.
you guys? Are you guys like even excited to see the Plarium points? Like, are they worth a reward for you? Granted, it's extra on top of what we would ordinarily get, or I think, right? Because what would we get? We would get, because there's no epic book. It's usually just the gear, so it's a little bit extra. But is it even really worth it?
When you get an ancient shard in that spot or something?
Was it an ancient shard?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. Gessel, what about you? What do you think, man?
Yeah, I hate the Plarium point tokens, so I don't know. Rewards, it's dumb. They're annoying. I hate when the red dot goes off to go pick up something up in there. At least it's free stuff, but whatever. I think it's all dumb.
Okay. Yeah, PJ.
Yeah, kind of. They just throw them into these events randomly. Kind of weird. If they want to do it, replace the silver and put on the right side, because it can be useful. So I guess for some early game people, like I think Roadblock we were talking about earlier, off stream, it helps them get more ag, which is pretty nice for early game. I might have stole that from him if he was going to mention that. Sorry, but but that would be really nice for like early game to help get that. But the people that are probably going to win these aren't going to need the points most likely. So it's, I don't know, it's kind of just a wasted reward.
Okay. Zero.
Yeah, I mean, to steal the PJ and Roblox Thunder, yeah. The Plarium Points for the free to play series is really the only place I'm looking at this. Yeah, I don't know. I've had a few videos go out that are kind of beefing on the multi battles, and now I guess Plarium Points too. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm kind of like, whatever. If I get it, I get it. I would love to be in Ancient Shard though.
Okay. Roblox.
I mean, you know, we were talking a lot about the free to play challenge and my account there. Even if I got those 100 points, it puts me at 269. Nice. But not really enough. That would only get me 100 points away from 250 energy. So no, it's not really going to make an impact even on the free to play. And that account is only a month old. So I think these are pretty weak. You talk about how difficult it can be to win this tournament and to put a reward that's so small at the top of there. It's just not worth it.
Right. Jay, what about you? Are you going to give us a against the grain answer with this?
No. If they would have put like maybe 1,000 or 10,000 points, I could see people going for it. But 100 is just bro, like
10,000 points. That gives them what's it called? That gives you Sersha, doesn't it? I think.
No, I think it was 20.
It's 25,000 for Sersha.
25,000 for Sersha. Okay. All right. So maybe I guess it could be something. All right. Continue. I'm sorry, Jay.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, if it was like 1,000, like, or the top could maybe get 10. I could understand and be like, whoa, they've never done that before, and that would make people want to do it and try to get first place. But 100 is just a smack in the face, bro. There's gems right below. I'd rather get the gems. It has more value. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So overall sentiment is not really worth it. I mean, I've never been a real big fan of the Plarium pay points. And usually when I do any sort of transaction for this game, I always do it in BlueStacks because the points you get from Google rewards are way, way better because you can use them to buy energy. You can use them to buy, even just get a gift card or something to buy other stuff. So I've always tried to minimize the amount that I put in Plarium Play unless they have the specific offers. Now
I have a theory.
Go ahead.
I think we playing this game wrong.
Okay. Why are we playing this game wrong?
Here is my theory. Like, especially recently, they released lots of great relics, right, on the clan shop, and level 30 clans going to get that. And especially if you're not spending money on the game, getting CR also going to take like, I don't know, 5 years. And reaching level 30 probably going to take like 10 years. So I believe like we need to prepare our child to play with our account. So our time is going to pass. They are going to get maybe level 25. And our grandsons, maybe they can reach level 30. And they can get rank 2 basalt. Rank 2 basalt. After 10 years, they finally reach level 30. They can get rank 2 basalt.
That is a fair point. Chat, what do you guys think? Is Ken right? Are we playing this game for us right now? Or are we playing this to give it to our great grandchildren 20, 30 years from now to be able to buy those 2 rank basalts or basalts, whatever? That's a fair point, man. That's a fair point. It is kind of crazy. I think honestly, myself, I have not taken a single clan quest. I screwed up and I took this clan quest because I thought I was going to be able to do it, only to find out that if I do it, I'm going to be leveling up a dupe champion. And I'm like, shit, at this point, who do I really want a dupe champion of in the Bandalores faction? But I have not, I mean, you could see here, there's not a lot of people doing them, or at least for myself, especially because now they've added all of these trials for the Chimera, which is absolute crap, to be honest. Let's, I really want to talk about the Hydra auto battle, right? First of all, let me ask you guys, have you actually used it, Ken? Have you used the Hydra auto battle? Yes.
Not yet. So we need to hold our keys for the clan. You know, we are following some rules. So before our leaders is said, I cannot use my key. But no, I didn't use the auto key yet because I need to unlock them right first. So no, I didn't.
Very, very valid point is we need to actually unlock it on accounts that have already done it, which is absolutely insane.
Here's the thing, too.
I think if you do Ultra Nightmare, it unlocks it for everything.
It does unlock it for everything, but it's like, I mean, obviously they couldn't use the scores that we've gotten from other accounts to see that, or from other clashes that we've gotten it. Go ahead, Ken. I'm sorry.
No worries. The thing is, I don't know how much you guys love in your auto team. Even they adjust the AI a little bit. If you are pushing hard, you're probably going to do manual. If you're tanking, you are also going to do manual because you need to tank. You need to limit your damage, right? I don't know, but again, like most of the clan, most of the people probably doesn't care in Hydra Clash that much. It's a great for them, man.
So
great time saving.
On to your point about actually the AI working the right way, it's actually not, because I was running my Hydra team on on manual to just see what happens, and there's seriously, like, Lady Mikage was ally attacking into the head of Suffering when it was decapitated, and it literally only took one hit from Lady Mikage and canceled everybody else's ally attack. And then she's, for some reason, there was also the head of Decay, which I think was Magic Affinity, and that one was decapitated as well, and it refused to attack that one over the other one. So I'm gonna do another video on it, just to kind of see, maybe run that way. I'm kind of, maybe it was just a one-off thing, but I still don't think that they fixed it. Gessel, what about you? Have you used the auto battle feature yet?
No, but I have unlocked it. I was just gonna do it during stream, get a little reaction out of it. I guess see how it works. But I'm very excited. I'm very excited to have it because that saves a whole lot of time each week.
Jay, what about you?
Yeah, I've unlocked it. I just haven't had the chance to get it because I did my keys early. But I'm gonna definitely do a video on the quick battles.
Okay. Mr. Roblox, what about yourself?
I haven't personally used it yet, but my clanmates have. They've had good luck with it. They got pretty good scores, so I'm tempted, but I don't know. I'm a very big manual guy for Hydra. Like, I enjoy it. I'm weird. I don't know.
Okay. Mr. PJ, what about yourself?
I did my hard key. I haven't done the auto yet, so I guess I haven't unlocked it for the higher ones. I'm kind of nervous to do it. I do want to see, just like, to test and see what I get, but definitely on the nervous side to see how it goes.
Chat, how many of you have actually used this feature so far, and was it actually useful for you? Zero Brew, what about yourself?
Yeah, so last night I actually got with our clan leader and we revamped my Hydra teams, took advantage of that juicy 3-hour re-gear token they gave us with a 6-day expiration.
Annoying in
on it.
6 days. Sorry.
I know. No, yeah, I know. I was making fun of that. And the funny part is when they've given that to us in the past, they also like dovetail it into the free gear cleanse, even though I think we got a couple more weeks for that one.
Gear removal,
but in the
not
past,
gear cleanse.
not a gear cleanse, but the free
Free gear
re-gear. Sorry.
removal.
Yeah.
We've already discussed
monthly-
this. We do not
Yeah.
want Plarium doing a free gear cleanse for us.
Yeah.
We've already discussed this.
Yeah. All right. So we sat and we ran 3 or 4 hours last night. Again, this is another reason why I'm behind the 8 ball and everything. But we redid all that. So I was doing about 300 million on all 3 of my teams, and now I'm doing about 450 million. Just swapping a few champions in and out here and there. So now I have a nice juicy baseline. So I think when the reset happens next week, I'll just now I know I can get about 450 for all 3 teams. We'll run the autos and see what happens and see if poor RNG happens and I get a 200 million run. I'm like, okay, this crap's broken. So I think that's probably the best way to do it, but we'll see. Got a good baseline. And if it works and works well, I'm excited for it because that just buys me back time in my life, right?
Okay.
What about you?
So here's my thing. I haven't yet. I still got all my 5 battles, and I wanted to do it because I wanted to see with you guys what exactly is going to happen. So this is my Trunda composition, right? This does on brutal full auto because of the 2 MX anywhere from 800 to 1 billion damage. So let's find out. First key, what is this going to do for us?
Oh man, how much? How much do you think?
400.
I was gonna say 500.
Ooh, it
I'd say
counts up the
500.
turns.
It looks like didn't do all the turns.
417.
It did not do all the turns. It died was about halfway.
95 boss turns.
95 boss turns.
500.
So okay.
All right, redo it.
Let's
do it.
Let's see what the next one will do. Here we go. This one's lasting longer.
It's
Yeah,
cool
look
that
at
it counts up the turns.
733 million. So that gave. So
Better.
that's better, right?
I don't know if that still went to turn count or not. It looked like it cut short a little bit.
It went up to 1,000.
Yeah, it's
turns.
1,000.
Yeah. So interesting.
So
All right,
602 on the Trunda versus like 350 on the first run.
Try number 3. Here we go. Stop
Oh.
at 500.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tripped and fell out of the starting block.
Yeah, that one fell very short. So that one did what? 25%. So
I wonder what happened.
here we go. And you know what? We don't get a battle log, which is a really good idea, PJ, right there. We should get a battle log to see how that happened. Number 2 or number 4, right? Here we go. 329. Wow.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
And
and
then-
making it to turn
700.
count.
Yeah, not even. Let's see. The last key. Will the last key get me anywhere between 800 to 1 billion damage? Here we go. No. Wow.
Dang.
Okay. So we could see the disparity between how big the damage difference is going to be, right? So chat is definitely right in the as soon as they click it, it's pretty much crapped out. Now, again, my biggest issue with this is it's not that I don't think that the feature is good. I think it is definitely good. But the problem now is I either have to accept this key or I have to go back and then run it on auto or manual, whatever. So on a week where I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm stretched for time. I take that 700 billion damage or the 700 million damage. I feel like I need to have that opportunity to have it. Now, with the testing that we just did, how comfortable are you that your damage is going to be as close as what you've been getting to your full auto teams? Ken?
Depends the team too, man. Like if you have a reviver, stuff like that, like I don't know, Sulfurium especially. He can also help you against the poison clot, like even on the auto. Really depends your team. Like the team you use doesn't have a reviver, stuff like that. It's quite a risky actually.
I run this full auto because the double MX keep us unkillable the whole time. And they're both in protection sets. So I don't really
Okay.
die. It's very, like I said, I think the
Gets
worst
stolen,
key
I
of
don't know.
yeah, no, well, sometimes it can get stolen, but you have Gerbtuck who gives me the block debuffs, and he's in a what is it called? A reflex set. So it's pretty much always up every single time with the poisons between the two.
How
enemies.
often does it fail, or does it fail at all when you run it auto or normally? It makes it turn count every
Maybe-
time.
I mean, it makes it to turn count almost every single
Pretty
time.
much
yeah.
every time.
Yeah.
So isn't that kind of weird that like 2 or 3 of those runs it
Oh, it's 4.
didn't even make it, or
Four
they made
runs.
the
Yeah,
turn
4
count?
out of 5. Only one went all the way.
Like how is that like how does that make sense?
It's a good question. I have no idea. I'm guessing because she might have attacked a force
100%.
head instead of a magic head. She weaked it and didn't kill something. Again, the
But
battle
that would
log
have happened
be,
on auto too, right? Like you're not touching it on auto at all.
no. Auto,
So
I
that's
just
sort
kind
of
of set it and walk away.
So I mean, the odds of that happening 4 times is crazy when you do it when you've done it for the past months and months, and it barely happens. Like that seems very weird.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, it could have been a weak hit, and I did put the cat's gaze on her, so she's got the extra damage from that coming in, right? And usually I don't put the cat's gaze on her because I just got it this week, so she didn't have it the last time I did it. But Ken, go ahead, finish up, brother. I'm sorry.
No worries. Like I pretty much finished it, man. Like it's really depends the team. But again, like even you prepare everything, man. Like Hydra is so annoying. They are so smart, man. They are so smart, man. Like we have no idea, man. Even I'm doing manual. I'm like finding myself every single one of them under poison cloud, reflect damage. Like I'm like, man, how is that happened? I even be careful about it. So.
Okay. Jay, what about you? What do you think, man? Do you think your team is going to do better? Are you hopeful?
No, I think we will, based off what you showed too. Looks like certain interactions might change with this mode, so we might adjust some champions to make it a little bit more auto, instant auto battle friendly. So I might have to build some champs or readjust some things.
Okay. Roblox, what about yourself?
I don't feel confident using it, and honestly, they need to come up with a way for us to keep a good run. I mean, I can't imagine having it work and you get 700 million. They're like, well, it could do a little bit better, and you click it again and get 140 million, and that 700's gone forever. Like, that at least give us a way to be like, okay, this was your highest out of the 5 or something. So you can at least get
I
a little
agree.
bit for your time.
I agree 100%. Gessel, what about you?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's fine.
Okay. Actually, I think Darn has a good idea here. Pin the run like they do on the Deck of Fate event cards. I think that would be a great thing, especially because if you do pin the run, that could be set as a baseline of what your key does, and if the system or the AI itself happens to be better, then as long as you pin the run, you should be able to get it. Just increase it every single time. PJ, what about you? What do you think? Is your team gonna perform better?
Definitely nervous. A couple of my teams, I run no reviver, and for my nightmare team, I'm running Androck, and I have to swap like back and forth if buffs are falling off to get like more buffs on the team. So there's no way the auto is gonna do that for me. I think for like the average player, it's gonna be nice that isn't really too focused on Hydra, that just wants to get their keys in, get some damage, happy with like second or third, and maybe not really always trying to win. But I think it'll save like the average person time. But if you're trying to go for maximum damage or trying to win, I don't think the auto is going to be your best bet for the most damage of the team.
Okay. Mr. Zero Brew, what about yourself?
Yeah, so Entropy said in the it would allow for sniping I think if people are really doing something like that, maybe put some restrictions on the pinning. I do love the idea of pinning your run. So it says, okay, you did this, and then maybe at the end of your fifth run, it'll tell you something like, okay, you've run this. Are you going to keep this or keep your pinned one, and then force you to lock it in? Maybe.
Yeah.
That would be something. I don't think you should be able to hold it all the way to the very end and snipe or something like that. Yeah, so I like that idea, and I think we all said 5 runs per 3 key, so 15 runs. We only got 5 runs out of it, so I really like the idea of the pinning. I think that would be awesome.
Right. Moving on to the amount of keys that we get or the amount of resets. Now, 5, is that enough? Is that not enough? Because I feel like we need to have a minimum of 3 per key. You shouldn't be able to interchange them, so you can't use all 9 on one. But I do feel like each key or each difficulty should have a minimum of 3. Now, chat, would you guys support that, or do you think, is the 5 just enough for you? Zero, I'm going to start with you first.
Yeah, I think that's so tough to answer. Yeah, and I think now that I think about it more, I mean, I think I'm okay with the 5. I do feel like there's some opportunities for really
point out right here. She actually hit the force head. Trunda actually hit the force head instead of the spirit head.
Gotcha.
So the AI is definitely not working.
Yeah, the AI is not working. Yeah, I think that's part of the issue too, right? Is that there's usually really bad coding, especially with the rework of the Hydra and all that, right? So I think I'm okay with the 5. I think we just, like we said, if we enhance it and allow you to pick. Now, I think you shouldn't be allowed to run all 5 of your runs on different heads. So I think if you are running your nightmare head and you said, okay, I got my almost 800 million, that's close enough. Let me lock that in, and then, or pin it or whatever. Maybe try one more run, you get 104, and you're like, nope, I'm going to save my keys for something else and lock it in before you move on to the next key, something like that. I do agree. It feels a little short, and I'm okay with Plarium setting the bar low and giving us more. Again, they can't set it high and take it away from us. So once you give the community something, it's really hard to peel that back. So if they start with the bar low, they can always up that. So I'm okay where it is now. Again, it's only been 48 hours or whatever since they've done it. So just give it a month. Let's see where we are. I do like the pinning feature though. I'm all in favor for that.
Okay. I think Propus makes a great point here in chat. Says AI is never going to do better. So what's the point on spamming retries? So maybe the big problem here is, why isn't the AI fixed first before releasing this feature? So very good point there. Roblox, what about yourself?
What was
do you think that the 5 tries that they're giving us, or the 5 rebattles that they're giving us for all the game, for all features, for all levels, is that enough?
I agree.
Or do we think we should have 3 per key or per one minimum?
I agreed with what you said about maybe not 3, maybe a little bit more, but I would like to have them be for difficulty specific. At first, when I heard about it, my immediate reaction was like, this is ridiculous. What do you mean? Only 5 retries? And then I thought about it a little more, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, because you don't want people sitting there just keep hitting re-go. That would just lag their servers like crazy, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand why they have a limit on it, but I think it should be per difficulty because, you might have a weaker team on brutal or hard or something like that it has everything you need. It goes 1,000 turns, but you don't have your best damage dealers in there, so you probably always get the same amount. Where the really high-end teams that require everything to go right, that you're constantly re-rolling because somebody got eaten or killed themselves due to reflect damage or something, those ones are going to be more tedious. So yeah, I think it should be per difficulty.
Okay. Guess so. What about yourself?
Yeah, when I originally heard when they originally came out with this, I That's the way I thought they were going to do it. I thought they would give you like 3 or 5 keys per difficulty level. I was a little surprised at the 5 for overall. Mostly because there's just really no other mechanics in the game. I feel like that handle it that way. So they probably had to like actually do a little bit of coding for this one. But yeah, I don't know. Whatever, man. I kind of am in the same boat. Like it's like we just saw 4 to 5 went poorly, right? Like, would that have been better if you could have only done it 3 times on one difficulty? I don't know.
That is a fair point. That is a fair point. As we can see right now, the team is doing pretty good, right? Better than the 147 million that it came. But that is a good point, right? If we can't pick the key, right? What's the purpose of having more multi battles if we can't pick the highest one out of all of them? Zero. What about you?
You already did me.
Oh, sorry. PJ.
I kind of thought it was going to be per key as well when I first heard it. I don't know. It's kind of tough either way because if you're limited to per key, then kind of like what Roblox said, but almost like the opposite, where like that one key is really easy. Like you don't need a lot of rebattles there, but for the other key, you might need more. So you could use more for that. But yeah, I don't know. I assumed it would just be per key. Like I thought 3 to 5 per key would be fine. Yeah, I'm not sure. The 5 per total seems a little bit low.
Okay. Jay?
Yeah, originally when we talked about this, we thought it was going to be like 3 keys in total and be like 1, oh, I didn't get it. Well, I guess I'll have to manual. So giving us 5 is pretty decent, but it's not per difficulty, right?
Mm.
So what they should have done, or what I would recommend, is maybe based like on account level, or if how many times, like if you reach certain thresholds of damage, they'll give you an extra key. So if like, let's say you only hit 200 million, you get like, and you can get 5 keys in total. But if you hit like a certain threshold of like 500 million, they'll give you an extra key. You know, that incentivize players actually, you know, wanting to push their damage for content that some people don't even care about anymore. So that's what I think would be nice to help, you know, overall. So you could end up starting off with 5 keys, but if you really care about Hydra, you could end up with like 9 or 10, right? And getting free keys to redo for any situation. Or you can rebuild your teams for this new, you know, full auto battle. But that just seems more of a Plarium problem. They should have probably made the AI better, you know?
Okay. Let's go to, I think it's just Ken up there. What do you think?
I mean, I agree with what you guys said so far. Like, I also thought like it's going to be a per difficulty, you know, but it's a 5 key in total for every difficulty. You can only reroll 5 times. I find it. Oh, you died there, by the way.
Yeah.
You just go all right.
A fear
400.
proc.
Yeah. It's broken a lot, man. You know, on the against you, you know.
Yeah.
It's almost broken all the time. Anyway, I think 5 is enough in my opinion, because otherwise, like more than 5 is going to be like people gonna keep try, and it's going to cause some server problem. Maybe a 3 per key would be nice too. 3 per key.
Okay.
But yeah.
Let me ask you guys this, because I'm.
Jezzy said Plarium. 500 gems for an extra key.
I was just gonna say that. I was like, would you guys be in support of buying the auto rebattles, right? Jezzy1987 in chat says 500 gems for 1 extra key. I think that's way too much, but do you think now, and again, I apologize in advance if Plarium watches this and implements this, because it's going to be, I'm sure I'm going to get some slack about it, but would you guys be in support of them saying, you know what, you want to buy the auto rebattles, you can, or the auto retries, you can do it. First of all, I'm going to put you guys on the spot and I want you to give me how much should each auto battle cost? And second of all, would you be in support of it? Let's go to Zero Brew first.
Well, if you did Iron Twins to get 6 keys, it's 150 gems. And considering they're giving us, I don't know, that's tough. I would think maybe 150 for another stack of 5, maybe.
Okay.
And limited after that, right? Because they're going to still want to have those limits on there. I think financially, compared to what else is in the game, I think that would be the thing. I think as a player base, we'd be fools to do that than to just run it like old school, like and just do that. And again, I think it's really hard if the coding for this mode is really crap and AI is doing silly stuff, like what just happened to your team. So that's really a tough sell. But I think if they were to do it, I think about 150, just like and just get 5 more, and then limit it after that, just like they do with Iron Twins.
Okay. Bick brings up actually a really good point here, because the EU has really strict laws about gambling. And so this would definitely be borderline abuse, I would say, or predatory. So maybe he knows more about this than I do, and I trust his insight. But it looks like it might not actually be a possibility. But PJ, what about yourself? What do you think?
Yeah, like if you gotta keep buying more keys and more things to auto battle, then maybe you need to like look at the team. Maybe it's not the auto battles. But if they wanted to do that, I think it'd be a waste. Maybe they could do 100 per key, or like an extra key or something like that. But I don't know. I feel like it would be a waste to get them. I don't think the auto battle, like if you're competitive or trying to get the max score, it's not worth the gems to keep on like RNGing it to try to get a better score with it. Like you should just at that point run it yourself, run it manual, run it auto. So I think it'd be stupid or would be dumb to buy if they did add it. But like 100 gems for an extra re-roll or something like that, or extra retry.
Chat's already. It's like, yeah, no, Plarium's already predatory enough. We don't need more. Roadblock, what about yourself?
I would be against any form of payment for a reroll that you might not keep, because
Okay.
in any other area of the game, I feel like if you spend gems, you're spending it to get a reward. I mean, the only one I can think of that is the closest to not getting one would be like refreshing arena. But if I spend gems on energy, I'm going to get something with that energy. If I spend it on keys for Iron Twins, I'm going to get the Iron Twins rewards. Spending it for just a reroll that you might not even keep, that's too far for me. I would be completely against that.
Okay. Jay, what about yourself?
Yeah, I don't think that should be included. What I would suggest is they should include this resource into the game on lower tier stuff, or areas like the bazaar, which no one really purchases. Put it there to incentivize players to actually do other content that's kind of dead. And then they're like, oh man, I want that to do that content so I can come back to Hydra and use free keys, right? It's a game. We should be playing it and getting something for our time. Paying gems for something that's RNG that you're not going to keep, that is literally insanity. But knowing player, they might be like, hey man, if you do buy this with gems, we'll give you a little boost, like 5% damage boost if you pay these gems in Hydra. This might help out your full auto battle.
This is what happens when you introduce more resources. Okay?
They're going to put them in the...
This is what
they're going to put them in City of Centranos.
Yeah, I'll still take that over player points any day.
Okay, fair point. Ken, what about yourself?
I agree with the Jay actually. Like there is multiple places in the game they can just put that there, like with the in-game economic costing instead of the gems. Gem idea is terrible, man. Like don't do that. Yeah, like.
Okay.
I really don't care, to be honest, for myself, but that's not a good idea.
I mean, it will push more people to snipe if that is something that they introduce. Now, again, I don't think they're going to. because they did specify that they were worried about sniping at the end.
Yeah.
They're not worried about any other game mode being sniped at the end, but they're worried about Clash for some reason. I don't know why. I wonder.
Well, the thing
Very
too
fair
is
point.
like, why couldn't they just say, okay, 24 hours before Hydra ends, you can't do auto battles or something like that? That would be a simple fix for sniping at the end, right? So basically the last 24 hours, and they already do that with Chimera, as we talked about last week, right? Like just say, okay, Monday midnight is cut off or whatever, and you can't use your auto keys.
They're
would
not
help.
they're not worried about game modes like this being sniped right at the end, like I just did to this guy. Or game modes like, where is it? Nope, I already
Because
went
they
there.
make the money.
They're not worried about these game modes being sniped, right?
Yeah.
Because these
Which,
make
by the
money.
way,
Hydra
Faith
Clash,
Keeper?
no money.
Faithkeeper, bro, like it's gonna be a battle between us, and I'm not gonna lose. I don't work tomorrow. I will stay up all night to play this shit. I'm serious, bro. I'm not
All right,
losing.
so-
I'm too invested.
Okay,
Can I-
so I do have one thing to say about this. So sniping a competition like this is just out resourcing the other person. With Hydra though, your team's gonna do what your team's gonna do.
That's not true though,
regardless.
because you saw my
No,
team.
no. I understand crappy runs, but my point is, if we're going head to head and you can do 1 billion and I can only do 450 million damage, no amount of me, rerunning it is going to make me do 1 billion damage to compete with you. So I get it. You might want to hold it at the end and snipe me in the end and make me think I'm going to win this Hydra challenge. So like the Hydra, 4 and 5 slots aren't winning the chest or whatever, and only 1, 2, and 3 are. Like that was going to happen regardless. So I don't know. That's just my 2 cents on specifically Hydra, because it's not like you can build a better, that's the core mechanics. You build a better champion, you can do more damage. But if you don't have that team and the two of us are going head to head, you're going to beat me, right? So
Right.
Can I give?
Go ahead.
I just want to give Plarium just a little bit of credit too, though, because I wouldn't have. I didn't think about sniping until someone said it in the chat, and like I said, I didn't think about how these would affect their server and stuff like that. So I guess what I'm saying is at least they understand how their game works a little bit and are avoiding sniping and saying like we don't want sniping, because in the past I would definitely expect them to just put this in the game. Everyone starts sniping and it just becomes the new way that you play Hydra, right? Like
and you know what? That brings up a valid point too, because those different competitions, they are staggered. 30 minutes here, 30 minutes. Like it's like a 2 or 3 or 4 hour window where people's tournaments end. Because I've been streaming and waited to lock my points in, and someone else is like, oh, that 6-star ninja soul, mine ended an hour before mine. So I think with Hydra, because it's not staggered, yeah, you're right, that would cause a major issue if everybody in the game did it all at once, right? So
Yeah, and I agree, but I feel like at the same time though it's just they're allowing the sniping to happen on this point. Why are we not just blanket allowing it not to happen everywhere else? The sniping is sniping, whether it happens at the right time or too early. Like again, I feel like that creates just a unnecessary worry for somebody. Like I said, I'm right now locked in a battle. And honestly, I'm going to be brutally honest, chat. I'm way too invested right now to pull out 20,000 Tag Arena tournament points. I'm way too invested to not go in on this. And that means I'm going all the way up to 100 gems per refill to do this. Okay? So
Well, isn't it ironic that that's like Hydra Clash and I guess Chimera are the only ones that like sniping isn't like a profit for them?
well, there's still big sniping all the way to the end though with Hydra Clash.
They're
because
sniping, but they don't make money off of it.
that's true. That's true. They don't make they still do make money because you got to pull the shards, you got to build champions, you got to do this.
But I'm
and
talking about the
that.
actual sniping
But,
of it. Like
yeah,
the
it's
other
not like
things.
It's not like I
You
can
have to put
drop a couple of
resources.
$100 to win this for my clan or myself or not, right? So that is true. But I mean, last week we were going up against a team where we were literally in first place at 59 or 55 billion damage. And I told everybody, I said, nobody use your key, hold it, right? Because the next closest one was at like 42 billion or 44 billion. All of a sudden, one guy uses his Chunda key, surpasses us to like 58 billion. And now we're like, oh shit, what are we going to do? All right, everybody get your keys in. So the sniping still happens. And I figure, I think for this game mode, we still need to have another conversation on how this gets fixed. But
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm just saying that it's funny that they're saying that it's a problem in the only area where it doesn't like directly make them money.
Right. It's the only area that you can't solve the sniping issue with a credit card. Fair point. Sorry. PJ before chat or before we started the stream made a really good a really good point. People are requesting my rant videos right now. But PJ brought out the point on this event here on the tournament, the rewards actually became a lot crappier. And honestly, I wasn't even thinking about the rewards to the right. I was looking at the Regale mascots because I wanted to try to get another Cat's Gaze, which, by the way, I've crafted 5 of the Hatter's Reserve, and not a single fucking Cat's Gaze.
I thought you were gonna say you crafted 5 of the Cat's Gaze. I was like, damn.
I wish. That's IPR jungle. That's who's got the 5. Okay, so when you face him in arena, just walk away because you know he's got them. But I have not crafted a single one, and I have done 5, and I've gone just full legendaries, full epics. I've been chasing all of these and not crafted a single one. But on the subject of the, rewards coming off to the right, I did not even notice this. And big shout out to PJ. And who was it that made the comment to you, PJ? Do you remember?
Spiff wanted you to do a video on it.
Spiff. Okay, and I think Spiff is in chat. So big shout out to both of those guys for bringing this up. But yes, this is absolute crap because I think, PJ, you mentioned that the top reward here used to be 10 gold essences. And it's a 4-star chicken. What the hell are we going to do with a 4-star chicken? Go ahead, Ken.
I think it was 5 essence, golden essence.
5 gold essences? Okay.
Yeah.
Even so, with the 5 gold essences is still more value, at least to me, than a 4-star chicken. But what is your current stance on? And I think I understand why they did this and they give us the Shadow rewards because we have all of this right here that we're going after. So they know that we're going to chase it as much as possible. But what is your stance on these rewards here? Like, are we thinking that they give us good rewards for the top 3 and then everybody else gets shitted on for the rewards on the right side? Or what are your thoughts on it, Ken?
I mean, like you mentioned, 3-star chicken, 4-star chicken, man. This kind of thing's only good for the super early game, man. I don't know, like, what level you unlock the Taktik Arena, by the way?
I believe it's 40 or 30.
Oh, really?
30.
I mean, even you unlocked it, like, you are not going to be with that much champion to deal with. I mean, try to get this reward, like, how many champion you can 6-star on that early, right?
Right. Let me ask you, Ken, what would you think would be a better, and let's be a little realistic, right? But an overall better reward to be put as the 7th tier for this every single time. What do you think would be a good one on the Tag Arena one?
I mean, previous reward was very decent, to be honest. Like, I don't know anybody have a screenshot, guys, on the previous reward. But 5 is golden essence, and instead of 4-star chicken, maybe 5-star chicken. That can definitely much better. And
a 5-star chicken's like $20, isn't it? I think that's too much for Plarium.
Oh wow, is that?
Isn't it? I don't know. How much is a 5-star chicken?
I don't know. I have like
do you guys know
200 of them.
Well,
you're
let's
rich.
Let's not go into the reasoning why we have 200 of them, Ken.
Okay, all right. So okay, like maybe it was very expensive, I guess. Still, man, I don't know. it's not that easy. Taktim Arena tournament is not that easy if you are early game. Like it's super easy for me because after the arena reset, guys, I'm reducing my defense, and all I attack is one man weak defense. You know, like literally the wall weak,
Right.
and that's going to be like super easy to finish this, get this top reward. You know, on the right side reward I'm talking about. But yeah,
Okay.
it's maybe instead of one mortal soulstone, like at least give us 5, man. Like what is one mortal soulstone, man?
Yeah. The rewards are definitely very weak, but again, I think and I did a while back a rant video on the legendary book not being part of the champion training. And it seems like since that time, I've noticed that if the rewards are really good for the first 3, if they're chasing that, then they put really crappy rewards on the right side. I want to see if it's here for the soul chase, right? So for the soul, is this the right account? No, not the soul chase. Sorry, the champion training right here. So this was actually a really good one that they did, and it's kind of rare that they put the mythical book and all of this. But I mean, usually it's not this good. Not this good at all. But Jay, what do you think, man?
Yeah, all those are like early game rewards, and they're like 1s and 2s. It's like, man, put some more gems, some more energy, something. Like if you want that content, right? Tag Team Arena is like kind of dead. And some of us actually came into the content creator program to actually do content specifically there, and we were just like, no, we're not doing it. We're going to want to focus the rest of the game. And yeah, it's just unfortunately just bad, man. It just makes you it kind of like mentally makes you force like, oh, I have to go for the left side. Oh, I'm losing. Let me try to spend so I can actually win that those resources. It just man, the right side is just really bad. I don't even participate in it. I don't give them no analytics.
No analytics. Gessel, what about yourself?
Yeah, I liked it the way it was before. The 5 gold essences is something really worth going for, man. Those things are impossible to get. If you could scoop up 5, I always went for them. But something I can't believe nobody has talked about, man. Anywhere in this game, this update, go into any champion.
Oh, I know what you're gonna say. The abbreviation thing.
And click on the stats. No, click on the stats. Total stats.
Oh yeah, I know. I found that
My muscle memory.
They finally, yes, they have finally changed the total stats to the first tab.
Okay.
Except
After
now my
5
memory,
years.
I'm clicking the wrong one.
And now
Okay.
it messes me up because I always go to change it.
So I'm glad you're bringing this up. So I was recording a Chimera video earlier in the week, and I said, okay, let me pull this up, and I'm in record mode, and I kept clicking abbreviations and it didn't register me that my muscle memory was going to total stats. Oh my god, that makes so much sense.
I did the same thing when I was recording a video, and I was like trying to show. I was like, "What? Where's the son of a?" Yeah, no. I mean, it's a good thing, but geez, I mean,
it's like 5 years too late.
Yeah, after 5 years, it's definitely not what we want. PJ, what about yourself, man? The rewards on this,
Yeah, I wish they would go back to how they used to be. They used to be really good. It was like really good to do tag team arena. I don't remember exactly when they changed it. I think it was a few weeks ago or something. They might
And I
have
think the first tier reward used to be like 200 energy, if I'm not mistaken. It used to be way more energy.
Yeah. I remember that.
I remember that Hell Hades did a video saying this is one of the events that you don't want to miss on because it's always easy to get the top reward if you just do your daily battles and then maybe buy one arena refill, and it would only cost you 15 gems to get the top reward. So, sorry, PJ, go ahead.
No, you're good.
I was just going to say, let me play devil's advocate. I feel like, though, too, in total tournaments that are going on right now, there's a bunch more of other things going on. So do you think if they lower the rewards here, they're making it up and doing the other stuff? Like there's the fusion warm-up, and I mean, yeah, we got Ice Golem, regular arena, champion, and like there's a bunch of stuff going on right now too.
I mean, I don't think Are you saying like lower the rewards on everything else as well too?
Well, I think that there's more rewards than, and I'm
Still,
just
more-
anecdotally, right? So like normally there might be only 3 things going on. Now it seems like there's 5 or 6 things going on. So have they lowered the reward pool for the 6, but given us 6 opportunities to earn? Does that make sense? Meaning,
Yeah, okay.
if you were to get
How do you
all of the
explain the
all
Plarium
6
pay
things that are
points?
going on right now, are you gonna? Yeah, that plan. That's ridiculous.
How,
But
how do you explain the Plarium pay points then?
that's different. That's different.
I mean, is it though?
You know
Because-
you know what it is, because they're all about metrics. You know what it really is. They're realizing people like Ken and stuff aren't going to ever get Saoirse unless they start pumping this stuff in. So I'm sure they're looking at the metrics and going, okay, Plarium Points have been in the game for a year and a half. Where are our free to play players? And they're like, 5 years away from Saoirse. They're like, oh, we got to start upping that. I'm sure that's what that is. But I agree, that's pretty crappy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roblox. Go ahead, Peter.
No, yeah, one other thing. I was just to say that, I would say we just go back. And the other thing is they started doing this a few weeks ago, so it wasn't like they just started doing this now. So I'm not sure what the event total was when they started doing this, but I'm not sure if that changes or not. But yeah, kind of scummy that they lowered all the good rewards.
I think that's the first piece of gear that I've actually bought out of there.
Gotta roll it, bro. Go roll
I
it.
just
Buying a lot.
One other thought too is I'm curious the bump on the free to play series, because I know there's 60 of us doing that are official, but I feel like there's a whole lot more in the community that are participating and new people are coming to the game. So I'm curious again to get that more. I know we talked about it earlier, but how many new people are in the game, and Plarium's like, oh, we can just throw this at them and get them that extra juicy free champion or something like that, and
yeah, but it's you need 1,000 points to get that Morag, right? And
they give you 500 out the rip. I mean, they give you.
Yeah, there's a promo code for PP500. Yeah.
Yeah, they give you. Yeah, so I'm just saying. Yeah, they give it quick.
Do that. I feel like they put it on the right side though. Like putting it as the winning is so.
Isn't there? I
unrealistic.
thought there was one where there was a reward you could get if you had. Forget where is this now? There was one where if you linked and you created a Plarium Play account, like you would get 250 points on top of that. Or am
I think that's what the
that?
promo code was for.
Okay,
They replaced that. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, even still, I feel like she's a good champion, but it's not enough to be able to do it. Like if that's the case, if that's what they're trying to do, then they need to make it to where within your first 30 or your first week, you get enough of those points to be able to acquire her, right? Roblox, what about you, man? What do you think?
Just to touch on what you just said, yeah, they should definitely make that. If they want to make those rewards for newer players, I mean, we already know they have different tournaments for different people, right? So like my free to play may have a goal of 2,000 and my main account may have a goal of 5,000 for the top reward, right? So I agree with what you're saying there. Put the Plarium Points for the lower end players as a reward and maybe not for the higher end players since it doesn't do anything for you guys. But back to your original question, we have a time limit on this podcast, so I can't go into everything I hate about Tag Team Arena, but it is my biggest dislike and pet peeve in this game. And I don't think I've ever completed one of those right side tournaments. I've never gotten the max reward from Tag Team Arena. So it doesn't impact me personally, but I don't agree with the concept of removing rewards for lesser rewards. I don't think that should be a practice that they implement in the game, because I know a lot of people prepare and plan around those, especially as free-to-play players. So to take those away can really impact somebody's long-term plans even.
Right. I think transparency between Plarium and us, if you at least tell us what the rewards are going to be or how much the rewards are going to be, because you do change them so often, it would be helpful. That way, at least, I mean, we can make up our minds if we should go for the event or not. Let's move on to the aspect of Seroth. Now, I already thought this was kind of a complicated relic to work with, and it seems like it really shines on champions like Rotos. Now, I think I have 2 on my account, if I'm not mistaken. Let's take a quick peek here. If I I'm not mistaken, yes, I do have two. I have one on Death Knight, and I have one on Rhodos. But what it does is whenever where it receives damage, reduces it by 50% or up to, I believe it's 100% of their turn meter, fully reduces their turn meter, and it's on a 1-turn cooldown. So champions like Rhodos are perfect for it. But I think they've created a whole nother big word salad for us here. So in patch 10.2, we're introducing the immunity skill fix. Now when champions' skills states they are immune to certain debuffs on the effects, they are truly immune to them. However, there are the following exceptions to this rule. Turn meter manipulation, immunity, protection champion buffs only from the effects generated by the enemy. So effects from relics such as Aspect of Sheriff will not apply to immune champions and will adjust the skills description to better fit the reflect cafe. I have no idea what they're saying here. I would,
Marius.
Okay, what are we talking about? Since because I guess I'm
Marius
not the only one.
Marius is immune to decrease tormentor effect. So if you put this on the Marius, this relic wasn't decreasing his tormentor, and it was kind of broken. So
Gotcha.
they are trying to fix this thing. So
Okay,
it's going to decrease the Marius tormentor now.
And Stone
Gotcha.
Skin as well.
Okay. So it was if the champion was in Stone Skin or if it was Marius, it was not reducing their turn meter. So they still got to take their turn. They still got to play the damage. Okay.
Yep.
Was it just me that was confused about this, or were you confused about this as well? Zero. I'm gonna start with you because you're gonna make me look good.
Yeah, I'm always confused. You're welcome.
Roblox, what about yourself? Did you know what was going on with?
I had to reread it a couple of times, but I eventually think I got there.
Okay. PJ?
I mean, I first learned about it in Discord from my clan, so I was kind of reading what they were saying, and then I saw like the update, so it kind of made more sense. But just reading this out the rip, I probably would have been like, "What the hell are they talking about?" I'm sure I would have had to reread a bunch of times and still probably would have been confused. So it's they're not the best at descriptions and trying to explain their thoughts to us.
Yeah.
What's a relic?
Well, chat, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, because big shout out to Rosaria, by the way, who takes the time to kind of go through this, make it a little more clear for us to read and understand. So thank you very much to him. But were you guys as confused as I am over here? Because I had no idea. Granted, I mean, I'm working a lot lately, but did you even understand or know what was going on with the issue here? Because it's not like they gave an example on what they were talking about here with like a particular situation or scenario, right? Gessel, what about you? Did you know what was going on here?
With this specifically?
Yes.
Or with the relic?
With the relic, according to this, where it wasn't allowing Marius to have his turn meter manipulated.
I honestly wasn't aware of any of this until you brought this up right now. So,
Okay.
I don't have this relic. The only thing I really knew about this relic was that it's kind of broken on Rhodos. I watched a video on that, but I wasn't aware that this was happening.
Yeah. So apparently we're gonna be also having a discussion because this is gonna be a buff for Marichka, and it kind of hurts the Gizmak and Stork combo. So watch out for more information on that with Beck and I coming up next week. Jay, what about you? Did you know what was going on with this?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I mean, well, their translation's usually not always correct. Sometimes they're like, "Oh, we meant this," or we meant to add this extra little part, the comma. But in general, with this, it's trying to say overall, like, TLDR is basically saying that champions, even though they're immune, they're not truly immune because a relic is not the champion itself affecting you. So you normally have accuracy and resist, stats to do that. What it's saying is a relic is like an artifact set. It just does, right? So the relic, even though you're immune, like Cosmo's immune to turn meter, if like Timit's there, doesn't matter. The relic is is higher than that. It's like a higher priority, so it's going to work even if you're immune. So that's basically what they're trying to say here.
Okay. So again, for myself, I feel like when issues like this occur, maybe I'm just by myself on this, but I think they need to give a specific example so we better understand, because again, the game is very, very complex, especially with the whole Relic situation. And so if we have no idea, granted, I guess they don't want to give the explanation of what happens because people may try to abuse it, but I think they need to do a better job at explaining. And I know Chad is saying that, English is not their first language, it's their second language. But I'm sure they've got somebody there to proofread it and kind of discuss what it should and should not say.
I mean, all these companies, most of their languages and first language is in English, and they do a fine job. I mean, it's not like a tiny company.
Very true. Very true. All right. I wanted to touch up a little bit on the champion rebalances, but we are running short on time, and I don't want to keep people from the Super Bowl. But we're going to jump right into Esme the Dancer. First of all, I looked at her and I was like, ooh, that's Armand's wife. Did you guys think that at all, Ken?
Sister, actually.
Sister. Okay,
I was thinking sister, yeah.
Armand's sister. Okay, what about you, Jay?
Yeah, I was like, oh man, like this looks interesting. But then I was like, oh, it's gonna be a pairing, and I'm like, hopefully this is not like Hansel and Gretel, where we're like, yeah, we get one character, but are we gonna get the other one? Oh no, good luck. It makes me kind of sad, man. I hope Moto the Peel is a little bit easier than it is to get Hansel, because I actually do want them together, but we're probably just gonna get the fragment of her only.
Well, he's going to be a guaranteed, and I'm only saying this again because he's definitely a pairing with her. So when they've done the pairings, there's always given us an opportunity to get one of them, whether it's going to be a champ training, whether it's going to be a champ chase, or most likely a Deck of Fate event. Or what was the other one that they started doing? The
Path event.
Path event, yes. Save your soul stones, save your shards. It's going to be an interesting time for us with that. So just forewarning. But chat, did you guys think when you looked at her, does she look more like Armand's better half or Armand's sister? I'm just curious to see what you guys think. Gessel, what about you? What do you think? Were you thinking Armand's spouse or Armand's sister?
Yeah, I honestly didn't see that till you said it. I would say sister, I guess, would make more sense. I don't know. Do husbands and wives dress and look alike typically? I think the sister makes more sense.
Okay. This is just but a little bit of a better visual. I mean, got the same colors, same everything. PJ, what about you?
To be honest, I've been a bad CC recently. I haven't really looked too much into them. So this is kind of my first time actually really seeing her. Yeah, I mean, now that you mention it, I guess I could kind of see it. Probably initially, I don't think I would have thought that. I'm also not super creative, so I don't have the vision. But I could see it now that you say it.
I mean, maybe let's look at Armand's.
I don't know. I don't know. Sister, girlfriend, wife. I don't know. They're some type of.
There's some type of there's some type of lookalike right there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Whoops. There's some type of lookalike right there. I think so.
But who's her partner then in all of this?
Her partner is Moto the Peel, Quasimodo, exactly.
What is? That's her. What?
That
her
is
her.
I mean, it's kind of scary if he's her husband because he does not look.
We don't judge Blaze. We don't
emo
judge
Moto.
Blaze. No judging.
Yeah. There we go. Wait,
okay, so
he's trying to say no judging. Are you saying I am not a handsome person?
No, I'm saying we don't judge what other people like in people. If she wants to date him, go for it.
Disney's Hunchback of Notre Dame. That's a good one, DJ. Zero, what about you? What did you think of her?
Well, yeah, because what's her name, right? So Esmeralda is the chicken Hunchback. So I think it's very much a spoof on Hunchback because it's probably like IP. They put their own spin on it, so it's not official. But yeah, I think if she is related to Armand's, then she needs to put his ass in check and make him get nerfed or something, because we need a 4-turn cooldown on that A3.
Okay.
Or the A2 or whatever.
Yeah.
It's broken. So she needs to fix her family.
Okay. And then Roadblock, what about yourself?
I didn't see that. Just like Gestel said, I didn't see the connection, but now that you put them side by side there, I definitely see it. I will say though, I do like the look. I think that they did a good job with the design of the character though. I think she looks pretty good.
All right. Definitely off the head. They definitely do a great job with the visuals, but let's really find out if she is Armand's sister or Armand's partner in crime. So the A1 attacks one enemy, places a 50% increased attack on all allies for 1 turn. Real quick, Ken, what are we thinking? Strong or weak?
Very strong skill, man. We're talking about A1 skill that give every single member of your team increased attack buff. That's very good actually for the A1 skill.
Gestel?
Yeah, I love the A1. Increased attack's always something you want to bring to a lot of different places. So
Okay.
A1's sick.
Yes. Sorry. Jay?
Yeah, it's a pretty good. I the only thing I don't like is that they 3-booked us. Just put 10% and let's save a Lego book for the community. But everything else, I like the A1's pretty good so far.
Okay, so you just want less Lego books, a little bit more. I mean, she's a support champion. She's not going to do a lot of damage as it is. So I get you, though. I agree. Too many books. We don't need them. It's already hard enough to get them. Roadblock.
I like it in concept, but I think it's clunky because, I mean, you know, how are you expected to use this? Because you want increased attack on your nukers, right? So are you opening with the A1?
Think
Valid
Hydra.
point. Yeah.
Ally attack.
Ally attack, counter attacks. That'll be good, especially because with Chimera, there is a what is it? A trial that you have to do that requires increased attack, and you really want to bring counter attack in Chimera to try to boost your damage. So I think with the counter attack, it's probably going to make it really solid for her, or maybe a reflex set.
No, I get that it's good. Like I said, I do think it's good. I like it. It's just I can also see it being kind of clunky if that's your only source of increased attack in other situations. That's all.
Fair point. Okay, I get what you're saying now. So if it's the only source, then yeah, it could become a problem. Chat, what do you guys think about the A1? Is it solid? Are you giving it, let's say, you know, a 5 stars, 1 star? What are your thoughts on the A1? Is it going to be useful for you? PJ.
I'd say it's very nice. Very nice. I like. But yeah,
Thanks, Borat.
increased attack on the of course. Increased attack on the whole team off the A1. Like Roblox said, if you're early game and you get her and like that's your only increased attack on the team, it might be kind of awkward to get set up. But if you're more mid game, late game, there's definitely you have options to help that out. Like you mentioned, we mentioned ally attack, counter attack. So you should be okay once you get some of those champions.
Okay. I'm gonna just reflect the chat here real quick. Bick says, "Isn't this an Armand skin that they're going to be selling?" Chat, would you buy this as an Armand skin? Let me know. Let me know. Would you guys buy this as an Armand skin? Zero. What about you, man?
That's funny. Don't be quick to judge people like they, whatever. Lady Bird did marry Zero Bird. That's a good point. Saucitunity. That's funny. Yeah. I'll be Quasimodo for that. Yeah. So on this, I look at it as like bonus. I like, again, it's you know, of course, the downside is 1 turn, but like maybe you could bridge this as a gap between Arbiter, between like her getting it recycled back in or something like that. But I look at this too is like, you know, hey, if you get provoked, you know, that typically blocks out most people from getting their buffs up. Whereas if she gets provoked, she's putting the buff out for the rest of your team, right? So I don't know. It's kind of niche, but I like seeing the buffs started come up. You always see the debuffs on the A1s more than the buffs. So yeah, it'll take some special thinking to see how this gets worked into its greatest use. But I think Roblox brings up a good point. You're not going to open with the A1 typically on this. So it kind of, again, that niche kind of find out where it fits in. But ally attack. Yeah, that's great.
Well, I think you might actually be able to open up with an ally attack as long as you have the decreased defense and weaken on there, because she does have a really solid speed aura. So I could see her being used as the speed aura and then having her go with the A1 on an ally attack and then putting it out on everybody else.
And then so something like that, right? Would you start her in the front or the number 2 slot, right? Because if she goes number 2, she would put it on the rest of the team, right?
She would be in the lead because she's got one of the highest all battle auras for every area in the game, right? Because I think the only one that has anything higher would be Marichka, and she's at 24 for all battles. So,
and by the way, speak for yourself on supports doing damage. Estrid is a support, and she does mad damage. So it'd be cool if she comes in and does damage. I'm just saying.
If she is like Estrid, she might actually break the game.
Maybe.
Let's talk about the A2. Attacks all enemies, has a 75% chance of placing a 25% weaken and a block buffs for 2 turns. Also decreases the turn meter of all enemies by 20%. Now, just as that part right there, it's pretty much an arena-based move. I'm not a big fan of them doing half arena, half everywhere else kind of situation, half PvP, half PvE. But if Mortal of the Pearl is on, or Peel is on the same team, steals 20% of the target's turn meter instead, books up to 100% on a 3-turn cooldown. Again, this is more of a PvP ability. It's going to be good for Hydra, 100%, Chimera, 100%, bringing in the block debuffs in the weekend. But we can't steal turn meter for a lot of these other areas in the game unless they're just trash mobs. So where do you guys stand, chat, with the A2? Again, are we going 5-star, 1-star crap? And we'll start it out with Ken first.
Special for the Hydra, weaken and the block buff. So sometimes you guys can find yourself, oh man, I have like great DPS champion who can also have a defense down, like Michinagi for example, right? And you don't want to use your Ugo just for the block buff. There you go. This lady can help you. She can also give you weaken debuff at the same time, you know. Her second part not going to work on the Hydra wise, like Tormentor stuff, but Arena wise can be also work. Weaken and the block buff. Block buff is very, very strong debuff on this stage on the Arena. Obviously, you need to deal with the ship, but that's another stream content maybe. So, especially this skill for the Hydra is the good skill, man. Very good skill.
Okay. So Hydra, we're grading it. It looks like a lot of people are saying definitely a solid ability. PJ, what about you?
Yeah, I kind of agree with Ken. I think for Hydra, also Chimera, very nice, specifically for I guess like mid game Hydra. Ken kind of mentions it earlier. If you have Mishinaki, but a lot of people I think early game or mid game have an AOE decreased defense, but they don't have the AOE decreased defense and weaken champion. So they can put her in with an AOE decreased defense to get the combo with also having block buffs on the team, which is pretty nice. They've been adding a few more block buff champions to the game, but generally I feel like there's not that many options for Hydra that are like good, that bring other other things to the team as well. So adding another block buffs champion, especially for early mid game, I think she's gonna be really solid for Hydra, and then also maybe for some Chimera as well.
Okay. Real quick on that A1, Skydoodle69 over on YouTube brings out a great point where it is a 1-turn, but with a particular mastery, I think it's lasting gifts, it could become a 2-turn. So that's actually not, I didn't even think about it that way. So good call out there, sir. Good call out. I guess so. What about you?
Yeah, I immediately thought of Hydra. AoE block buffs is super key there. Bringing a weekend long is nice. But yeah, as you said earlier, turn meter makes you think arena, because obviously it's not going to help you with bosses. So, well, at least Hydra. So it's, I kind of like, to your point at the beginning, it's like they're making these champs, like one ability is good for one place, the other abilities are better for other places. It's not super succinct, so yeah, a little awkward.
Right. I think they succeeded with Marius and making him as a one case use everywhere. And I think that's what they're trying to do with some of these other champions. But I feel like at that point it should be just either pick a PvE or PvP side and leave it at that. Jay, what about you?
I like the skill. It's a 3-turn cooldown. It brings 2 good debuffs. It's AoE as well, which is nice. Would have liked the stealing part without the moto, but because, I guess she would be kind of like a little baby female Armrons. The one thing I don't like that they've been doing a lot, literally like every single champion, Korra, Skeletor, like just literally every free champion that they're getting that also decreases, right? Like Gretel had that, and now Alice has it. Like it's just like they just like I understand they're trying to like reduce because she's supposed to go first, A3 and 2, but it's like that it's not that great unless it's gonna be big. Unless it's gonna be like stronger, like 50 or 40. It's I don't know, it's just a Marius activator. It doesn't do as much if it's 20, but with Moto's there, it's actually way better, of course, right?
Right.
But overall, as a skill, it's pretty good. I give it a 4 out of 5.
Okay. Well, again, with Moto though, the only caveat with that, or the only problem I guess I'm going to say with that is, it's going to be really difficult to try to get him into the team for an arena. And then again, we can't steal the turn meter of bosses and stuff. And I don't think, I mean, she looks good, but I just don't think arena wise it's going to be a good thing. But we're going to go next to the guy with the big smile right there, Mr. Roblox.
Well, I'm smiling because Skydoodle, who you just shouted out, is actually in my clan, and he was in my Discord trying to sell me on her because I wasn't going to go for her. But I could use another block buffs, and I do agree that having the weaken on the block buffs would provide me more value than my third team block buff, which is Sun Wukong. So I definitely could see her getting picked up and put into a team for that ability alone. Yeah.
Well, just think about it this way, right? A lot of us run Ugo because she's definitely one of the better champions to have for block buffs and a decreased defense in Hydra, right? So we bring her in. She's going to give us the increased speed, increased accuracy as well on the A2, on the A3. And then we get, moving on to her passive a little bit. We're just jumping ahead. But we're going to get a turn meter boost on that. I'm saying I feel she's a must-do champion. Now, she's not new level fusion, but definitely not a champion that I think people should miss out. Zero.
Yeah, sorry. I like it. I do like, again, when going back and looking at the A1, right? So you're bringing 2 pieces of the puzzle, right? You're bringing down the weekend and you're bringing the attack up. So I like champions that bring kind of the dispersion, the disparity there, and then of course matching up with like a ninja or something like that can bring defense down or something could get interesting. Yeah, she could fill in some slots, and again you got allied to protection with Mikagi. You can kind of slot her into that team. Mikagi ninja and Hydra would be pretty good for that maybe. We'll see.
Okay. So far, she definitely looks between the A1 and the A2, I'm going to say a sister with Armand's, but I think the A3 might actually get her as a significant other or a spouse, but places a 50% increased accuracy, which Armand definitely needs, a 30% increased speed, which Armand definitely needs, for 2 turns, has a 75% chance of removing all buffs from all enemies. And if Moto is on the team, we are going to steal the buff. So we get on a 4-turn cooldown with 100%. Although Mr. Zero Brew thinks that it should be a 3-turn, I think that might be just a little too strong. Maybe it's me. Chat, you guys let us know. Is it too strong if it was on a 3-turn cooldown? Because then we'd be asking for her to be nerfed between her and Armand's. And then I don't even know if we can use the faction unity champion for the barbarians with this. I don't know what that guy does, but I can imagine it could be something crazy. That said, where are we standing with this? Are we giving this a 5-star, 1-star? Ken, what are your thoughts?
My bad. A3 skill is very strong, man, because she's attempt to remove or the still enemy buff, she's going to cast the increase accuracy buff, At the same time, increase speed buff to herself. So you guys don't need a crazy high accuracy on her. Like I mentioned, she have an increase accuracy buff. So that's very strong skill actually for the arena wise. Beside the second skill, I'm mostly thinking like it's on the Hydra, but A3 skill mostly good for the arena. Obviously, it's also can help you on the Hydra. You know, if they have a buff, you can remove them or steal them, stuff like that. Again, increase accuracy and increase speed buff can help you to build your team maybe a little bit easier for the Hydra wise, but arena wise alone is very good.
Okay.
Very strong.
I agree. I think it's definitely arena wise. It's definitely going to be a solid one, especially with the aura. Just the increased accuracy itself gives us so much, right? PJ, what about you? What are you thinking?
I really like this skill, the increased accuracy and increased speed, like what Ken mentioned before. Removing the buffs is huge. So like you said, you don't have to really give her too much accuracy, like a crazy amount, and she'll still be able to get the job done. This is also good for some trials and Chimera. You need increased accuracy for that. You need increased speed for that. Really good for Hydra. You don't necessarily need increased accuracy, but you can kind of maybe build around it a little bit, help your team out. And then the strip is also really, really nice.
Okay. So Gregor is actually 50% ignore resistance for hard CC, and you deal more damage on people who are stunned. Okay.
The only thing I wish, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
It might be too strong, but I really wish there was a better synergy of the cleanse and then the block buffs up. Because like Wukong, he drips and then puts the block buffs up on the right away, the same move, which is really nice. Here it's kind of tricky because you strip and then you have to like wait a whole nother turn to get the block buffs up when they could in between that time get like buffs back up. So I don't know, it would be kind of too strong to have like an extra turn or have like the thing swapped, but I would have been nicer to have that, like a little bit better synergy there.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say this, Plarium, the next time you put Dune Lord Gregor out, I'm gonna go for him only because I have a Laz. I'm gonna have this chick, and I'm going to have Armands, possibly even Odin, and I'm gonna want this guy just for that. Roblox, what about you?
I think I'm in the minority here. I really want this to book down to a 3-turn, and I know that you guys are saying it's going to be very overpowered and whatnot, but there's a lot of strips on a 3-turn, and to have an increased speed be on a 4-turn, buff extenders and whatnot these days, but I just really. It frustrates me to see increased speed for 2 turns that's on a 4-turn cooldown. So maybe I'm being a little too hard on it just because of that. But I think that it needs to be on a 3-turn cooldown.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah.
I get that. I get that. She's a legendary champion. 3-turn cooldown makes sense. Buff strip. I mean, I think most epic champions are at a 4-turn, but at least they will place a decreased defense or something, which also can make them a polymorph magnet. I still think, though, that, because there's the possibility of stealing if Morto's on the team, I think that might just be a smidge too much. But maybe chat has a different opinion of it. They could let us know if Plarium should switch this from a 3-turn to a 4-turn to a 3-turn. Jay, I didn't mean to skip you, brother. What do you think?
Yeah, I actually like the skill. It's actually a power creep of Lady Kimmy's A3. They're both 4-turn cooldowns. Lady Kimmy gets the increased accuracy, increased speed after. This champion gives it first, kind of like a Mikage, the increased accuracy. So it's a basically power creep of her. So it's really good. And then you get to remove all buffs. Lady Kimmy only does the one, right? And then you can put block buffs if you removed one. The whole point of this skill is they're expecting you to have mode of the peel. And you're going to be stealing all buffs on top of doing everything there. They're not going to make that a 3-turn. That's crazy. So that's why it's a 4-turn. I would like it a 3 as well, but we can't control the cooldowns based on like if we have a character, it's a 3. If the game was like that, that'd be better. But I think we're forgetting too is another reason is she steals turn meter on the A2. In waves, if you have 5 enemies, that's 100% turn meter you're stealing if Moto's there, which means you get an extra turn. On arena, you're getting 80% turn meter, which is close to an extra turn. So do you want another female Armons with Moto Armons? No. So I'm good with a 1-3-4 champion.
Okay, valid point right there. Valid point. The thing though is again, I don't want people looking at this as a Moto and Esme type of situation, because again, it's going to be very difficult to put them both together. There's going to be a very limited time or very limited areas where you're going to be able to use them together. So I do honestly just kind of want to grade the champion themselves, because honestly, I feel like Moto is kind of blah. But Kilos Kuz brings a good point. You know, rather than bringing it to a 3-turn cooldown, why not put the increased accuracy and the increased speed for 3 turns? I think that's a pretty solid suggestion right there. So, Plarium, if you're watching, I would put that in. Dabmaster, what are we thinking?
Yeah, I think it's good. I've recently been playing around with Carnage too, so anytime I see increased accuracy, that helps pump up Carnage's damage. And a lot of people are probably, if they haven't already gotten him, are going to be getting him soon, right? So, yeah, I like that. And yeah, and I think you might have misunderstood what I was saying with the cooldowns. I'm saying if she's Armand's sister, she needs to nerf him by going from a 3 to a 4 turn on his A2, is what I'm saying. She needs to put him in check.
Oh, okay.
So I wasn't thinking about her cooldowns at all. I was saying he's busted. If they're related, she needs to take that axe and smack him upside the head and slow him down a little bit.
Gotcha. So she needs to be the good older sister and say, cut the crap out.
Yeah, I think too. Yeah, again, that whole Moto thing kind of being in there, it's tough, right? So ever since, and this just goes back a couple of years, right? Like the Jetney and whatever, his Alsgore, I think, and there's been a lot of these champions that have come out that have been pairings. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go all in. I'm going to get them and whatnot, including opening up the wallet to get the guaranteed and stuff. I mean, Queen and King were like the best of the best, right? Of those pairings, and I do have Hansel and Gretel, and I've tested them, and they're actually pretty cool too. But I would say there's been a lot of flops too, like Jetney and Alsgore. Like Jetney just does not hit at all. Now, do they get buffs in the future? Possibly. So I kind of look at these a little bit of skepticism, but I do think there's like you said, individually they are bringing a lot to the table. Per se, it's not the end all be all best of the best, but who knows?
Right. I guess one of the things that we could do, to Darn's point in chat here, is you could put her in a reflex set, right, and have that chance of that cooldown being reduced. And another good example of a bad combination, thanks to Modern Thinker, is Oella and Ultan of the Shell. I mean, again, we get a lot of these fusions and we chase that other significant partner because we're like, oh, it's going to be so great. And I'm going to tell you flat out right now, I have chased every single one of those partners. If it was not for content creation, I would not be building. If I had test server access, I probably wouldn't even be going for half of these champions that are the partners, right? But because I'm not, I do it.
One thing I want to just chime in, and Oella and Ultan, I knew there was another one that was just a complete flop, and I went for them too. But what I will say is I do think it is interesting that they are flipping some of these combos, right? So Oella and Ultan are one, which is what Dark Elf and Sylvan, and then this is one where it's Barbarian and Ogren, and they're not in the same battle line there. And we know that Faction Wars, like the next level of that, Faction Wars Hard or whatever they're going to do with it, are coming. And it might be, who knows? You might have to mix and match some of these things. Like when they released Sin City, we had no clue that we'd be breaking out all these random champions from the vault that we would never build. So that's just another thought when I look out of this and go, okay, will I ever use this? I don't know. But what's coming in the future where all of a sudden they become like, the best of the best, right? So
yeah. I see where you're going there, and I don't think the factions are going to be, or the increased level is going to be like alliances. Maybe but that's kind of what Centranos is, I feel like. Although they could be a little more specific. Who knows? Let's look at the A3 here. Now, this one I like, but the second part with her partner, I think, just needs to be removed and just increase the chance, right? So when hit has a 15% chance randomly changing the attacker's hit from a normal, weak, or strong hit, right? From a critical hit to one of those. Now, I feel like this, I would not want to bring the partner in and just give me a flat 30%. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Loki has a pretty big chance of evading, right? Okay, it's only a 15% evade, but it feels like it's on the whole time. But Ken, what do you think of this? Are we talking 5-star, 1-star? Chat, same question to you guys.
Passive skill. We talking about the second part or the first part?
The
or
whole
both of
the whole
them?
part, the whole
Okay.
thing. You know, do you? I personally feel like the second part with her partner, just get that removed and then buff from 15 to 30. I think that would be good. But maybe it would be too broken because Loki is only at 15%.
I mean, there's a one thing I know. Weak attack is basically no damage, guys. Like weak attack is extremely strong, and there is a 15% chance she can switch enemy crit attack. Look, only crit attack, okay, to the normal, weak, or the strong attack. Strong attack still going to hit you hard, not as critical attack, but normal or the weak attack can really keep your team alive. Actually, it's not that bad. This passive skill doesn't have a cooldown at all, so we take it. Second part, I only apply to the attack DPS, right? Fill in their Terminator.
No,
which
not the active part yet. Not the active part. I just want
okay.
the passive part. Sorry, because the active part I totally love.
Okay. Yep. Critical passive skill don't have a cooldown. First part, so we take it, man. Like, with her husband on the team, 30%. 30% is good ratio actually.
I like how Ken
30%
refers
is
to
good.
him as her husband.
I mean, it is too, right? Like, actually, Leila is mentioned it on the CC chat. They are cartoon, I think. Like, I don't know the name of that, but he's the ringing the bell guy.
Yeah,
on the top.
we're talking about the Hunchback of Notre
Oh,
Dame from Disney.
Yeah, it's a Disney.
As Esmeralda. This is Esme, not
Esmeralda, yeah.
Esmeralda.
Okay.
Yep. PJ, what are we thinking about the passive effect here? Yay, nay?
It's okay. It's decent. I mean, it's not something you're gonna like rely on. It's just gonna be more of like a nuisance, kind of like if you're facing the Loki in arena, he's just gonna misstep every a little bit once every so often.
I'm not gonna lie. It's he evades so much it feels like it's 100%. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah.
Like I'm using my Terras's A2 to kill him. Evades. What the hell?
I wish maybe they wouldn't have this take out the strong hits, maybe just weak hit and normal hits would make it a little bit better.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the difference between like how much of like a damage difference between normal versus strong or strong versus a critical is. But I think if they remove that would be a little bit better. And then I guess they wanted to try to have the combo, the wombo combo with the partner, the 30%. I guess it'd be tough to get them together. So it's good. I mean, if you can take less damage and stay alive longer, that's awesome. But it's obviously not gonna be something you're gonna like rely on.
Right. Gestel, what about yourself?
So it says randomly changing the attacker's critical hit to weak, normal, or strong. Does that mean it could change a weak hit into a strong hit?
No, it's only critical attack.
Only critical hits. Only critical hits can be changed.
When hit?
Randomly changing the attacker's critical hits to a weak hit, normal.
Hits. Okay. There's a critical. Okay.
Strong. Sorry, I may have said that wrong.
No, because I read that a couple times, and I don't know. It just seemed really weird to me. Okay. Whatever. Yeah, I guess it's good. I guess it's just the randomly word. I guess is weird. Throws me off a little bit, but
okay.
Yeah, if it's always positive, like 15% chance of not getting blown up, I guess it's good.
Okay, what about you, Jay?
So when they say randomly, they mean randomly from, you won't be able to control the weak, the normal, the strong. That's the random part. But there's a 15% chance without Moto to change the critical hit to one of those three, which I think that's insane. We don't have any champion in the game that really can do that. Why is that insane? Because now you can change critical hits from bosses, and we know sometimes certain runs it's like, oh, I got crit hit, this champion dies. In PvP, right? People are building tons of crit damage, 300, 400%. You're telling me I can turn that to a weak hit? That's kind of insane. That means all those stats and all those things you're building doesn't basically nullifies all that, and that helps out a lot. And then if Moto's there, you get more. Weak hits are in radar 35% chance to happen, right? That feels like way more than 35. If I swear it feels like 50, and I think they've coded like that, and never told anyone. So I think this is going to be changing up a lot of stuff in raid a lot. It's going to be making it very RNG related stuff. And I think it's going to be interesting.
That's a good point, because weak hits are 35%. No, 25% if I'm not mistaken. Or is it strong hits are 35? So I wonder, does this become additive to that? Or, does that make it now 50% that this could happen? Zero, what about yourself?
Yeah, I think this is insane, right? So again, I look at these as like arena champions too, but like any AoE attack, right, is you basically taking away the crit. So they could have, Amarius could have 10,000 defense and 500 crit damage. If this passive procs, you just basically take it off of the entire team, right, and keep your entire team alive. That's a pretty big RNG. Like, you're not going to win all your fights like that, but it's a big smackdown in removing the stats, off of someone. So that's the way I look at it. I don't know. It's interesting. And then strong hits are so weird, because 9 times out of 10, you're crit capped anyway, so you never hardly ever see strong hits. So that's interesting to like bake that into more of a mechanic of the game, right? The only time that's really happening are on these free to play accounts where you're strong affinity hitting into someone and you're not crit capped, right? So I don't know. We'll see.
Okay. Roblox, what about yourself?
Has anyone seen any testing on it? Because my question is kind of what Zero Brew just said, that is it only hits on her? Like if there's an AoE hit and it procs, does she only get a weak hit and the rest of the team still gets
her.
crit?
Yeah, it's just her.
Oh,
yeah.
Is it just her? Okay.
Yeah. So I would say I like this better than Loki's because, sorry. I like Loki's if Loki's on my team, but when he's on the enemy team, I hate it, right? And I think this, I wouldn't be as mad about it going into arena with it, right? Gives her a little bit of survivability, which I think is nice. But I don't think it's as frustrating to deal with, because in the free-to-play challenge, all I'm doing is facing Loki every single arena, and he's eventually going to die, but it takes like 30 extra turns. It drives me insane. So I think this is a little more balanced version of that, and I think it's pretty nice. Going to be handy to have for sure.
Okay.
Can I say one more thing? Sorry, I know we're running out of time. I almost feel like this is almost kind of too weak. I feel like the normal hits and strong hits shouldn't be there. Like if you're getting hit with a nuker, I don't know the difference between a critical hit and a strong hit, like how much of the damage difference there actually is, but I feel like if you're getting hit with a strong hit, you're still probably going to die. I
actually disagree, but I don't know that for sure.
Like I feel like they should either up to the percentage, because Loki's getting 0 damage taken and is like the same percentage. I just think it's still getting damage taken.
Well, so I think there's no multiplier for strong hit, right? So you get a critical hit and you have 300% critical damage, that's going to multiply. But if it's just a strong hit, it's just a strong hit. I don't think you can multiply that damage other than your attack percentage, right? Am I wrong about that? This is where I'm not the most technical guy. Yeah.
I don't believe. I think that's the way it works, is you can't multiply it. So, I guess
can I just say one thing? I know we're running out of time, but if it is a hit on her and it only changes the hit on her, then they need to reword that passive. Because the way I read it is when she is hit, has whatever chance of changing the hit from critical to A, B, or C. So I'm thinking if it's a AoE hit, I mean, maybe she has to be at the front of the line. I don't know how that should work.
You're right.
But it needs to specifically say hit against her. Is my thing. They need to reword that if that's the case.
Yeah, I'll ask and see if we can get some
pass that feedback on because the way I read it is AoE hits her, she changes the hit away from critical if it procs.
That's a good point. All right, let's jump into the last part of her passive, which is the active effect. Whenever this champion is hit, increases the turn meter of the ally with the highest attack by 50%. Now, this could be good or bad. This is actually going to force her to have to be only used with attack-based champions. So we can't mix her with like our Taras or something else like our defensive nukers. So we definitely have to use, obviously either her partner in crime or like a Rhodos or something. But where do we stand with this? Ken, what do you think?
I mean, you are right, everything you said, but if you make your, defensive nuclear champion also your highest attack at the same time on your team, if your team is with the, debuffer, support champion, their attack also going to be low, so you can also try to do your defense nuclear to the highest attack, so which means they can get benefit from it. Same for the HP nuclear. I know it's a hard, best way to use it attack nuker for this thing, but extremely strong skill. I wish this skill doesn't have a cooldown actually, because my plan was planning to use her cooldown, not cooldown, counter-attack accessories, revenge accessories and lots of counter-attack masteries as well. So because every time she attack, it's a right, so doesn't matter which attack, can be counter-attack, can be ele attack, etc.
Every time she's hit.
Yeah, but it's every one turn actually because there's a cooldown. So
right.
Yeah, 50% Terminator field is actually very strong. Like you guys actually mentioned that increased attack buff. How she's going to get that from her A1 skill, and you guys also mentioned that ele attack, right? Well, if you start with the ele attack, you are also going to fill your Terminator of the highest attack DPS champion by 50%. So
imagine what this could do with a Trunda team. PJ, what do you think?
Yeah, so I'm not sure. Ken kind of answered it, but so it's not per hit, it's per turn. So if it's a triple hitter, is she gonna fill at 150%?
No, the skill is a cooldown, man. PJ,
It does have a skill
turn.
Okay.
One turn
skill down per. Okay. Yeah, I think it's really good, boosting your attack damage dealer most likely. Ken brings a great point. You can kind of force a little bit of the more attack on your other nukers, defense or HP if you're in a full support team. I think that's a really smart idea actually. But yeah, a solid kit or solid passive, just boosting because usually your nukers gonna be a little bit slower, so giving them more turn meter is always good.
Okay, Gessel, what do you think?
Yeah, as you stated earlier, I don't know if it necessarily limits using her with anybody else, but it definitely makes her much more desirable using her with a attack-based champ. So, it's pretty awesome. I mean, 50% turn meter. That's crazy. So,
I was actually thinking about Nias.
Is he attack?
He's
attack
HP based.
and HP. He's attack and HP. He's like Rhodos. His second
He's
form
everything.
is HP. Yeah.
He's everything.
He's broken.
Yeah.
His A1's broken.
I have him on my free to play, by the way, Blazing.
You know what? All I'm gonna say to that, sir, is bam. Bam, bam, bam.
Oh.
Okay?
Guys, I think this is my last time on the podcast.
Well, now since you want to be a show off, why don't you give us your opinion on this?
I think the active effect is awesome. I think that's going to come in really, really handy, especially if you have... one of the hardest things I find for any of my accounts is trying to get the speed that I want on my nukers of any kind. So to be able to have an opportunity to kind of, especially with Stone Skin, like I want Stone Skin on my nukers, but then I can't maybe hit the desired speeds I want to be able to get that backup effect and kind of increase their speed, maybe even get them to cut in before some other champions. I think it's going to be pretty good. I like it a lot.
Okay. Jay?
Yeah, this has really good synergy with the first part of the passive. It isn't active, so of course, it works once she gets hit, and then you gotta boost them up, but she needs to take another turn. But she's gonna be going fast because she's got that increased speed on the A3. She probably has at least 105 to 110 base speed, hopefully, or more if Plarium gives more. Of course, you're gonna be using speed leads. She has one already, and in arena, you're probably gonna use a better one, like a 28 or 30%. So yeah, that passive is gonna be going a lot, and I'm thinking of even in bosses like PvE, you can use this a lot. This is gonna be the only downside is speed tuning, right? Like if you had something tuned, that DPS might go way off tune, right? Because of how much turn meter they're getting. But other than that, in PvP and PvE in general, that's insane. That's a crazy passive. I hope they don't put this champion and Moto in waves, because that's gonna be annoying.
Sorry, guys. I muted my microphone because my kids are jumping upstairs and they're jumping right on top of my office, so I didn't want that going on. I think more likely going to happen on Centranos, unfortunately. But let's go to Mr. Zero Brew next.
Yeah, again, I go back to the way I read this is the first one helps protect your team, and then the active will pop off unless you nuke back, essentially. So if that's not the way it's going to function, well, I guess we'll know in a week or two, right? But or the people in the test server. But if that's not how it functions, that's a little bit disappointing because the way it reads is amazing. And yeah, like you said, boosting that nuker, and it's so much harder to get a nuker faster and still have them like just all out smack an enemy team. The other thing too that's interesting, and as I wonder if you can slot in like with filler pieces some retaliation set, right? Because if a AOE happens and she retaliates, she's going to do the increased attack buff and then boost your biggest nuker if it's an attack nuker like a Sigfriend or something like that. And then Sigfriend, boom, A3's the enemy team. Like there's some crazy synergies there that could potentially happen. But maybe that's just a broken thought. That's just where my mind's going with that. I don't know. We'll see.
Definitely, we'll have to wait and see how it works out. I do feel like you are. I feel like we're going to be looking at a much slower nuker now. In Stone Skin, so I think Arena is going to be even more toxic, but it's going to be an interesting time to see how this works out. Overall, are you guys going for the fusion? Yes or no? And do you suggest that the community goes for it? Ken?
I personally really like this fusion. I'm going for her. I didn't manage to check the video for her husband yet. I don't know his multiplier, but his skill damage increase against the Stone Skin, stuff like that, is looking actually super promising on the paper. If you guys in the low on the resources, if you guys don't do the champion like that on your current account, I don't recommend it. Go for it with no reason. Don't waste your resources, because after this fusion, guys, we are getting anniversary. Red anniversary is on the and last year we got the Armans there, so. To be honest, my best wishes for this anniversary, just delete the Armans, Plarium, thank you.
Maybe for the 1 year anniversary, they might delete Armans. Who knows? Jay,
maybe.
What about you?
Yeah, I actually like her. I just don't like the fact of the Moto situation. If they would let us know more. She's a fragment summon. I think everyone should go for fragments, even if you can't get the champion, because she's not a frag fusion or a fragment fusion summon or traditional fusion. She's just a fragment summon. You get frags. If you didn't get her, cool. You can stack them into High Mother mod or save them for, maybe if Plarium sales you a pack, if you have like 80 or something, you can buy her and get her, and it's worth. But in general, yeah, I actually like her. I'm going to go for her, definitely. And hopefully I can try, if they make it reasonable, for me to get Moto as well, because I would have used them both. You're talking to someone who used Timid and Kaja, right, and then had to sacrifice them 3 months later because they released Narcissus and Korra. So hopefully they don't do that.
I'm talking to somebody who's a gotta catch them all mentality. Kind of like me. Gessel, what about you?
I am definitely going for it on the free-to-play account. I think the A2 is going to be big for that account and Hydra. So right away I was going for on the main account. I was thinking maybe I would skip it because I don't really know where I would use her, and I have no shards on my main account, but so I thought maybe it'd just be a good break. Then I saw Moto, and as they were saying with the stone skin stuff, that's actually pretty compelling. I don't know if he hits well or not, but after I saw Moto, I'm like, whatever, I'll just go for her. So I am going for her on both accounts.
Okay. Mr. Roblox.
Originally, when I first read the kit, I was a skip. You guys have convinced me, but it more comes down to the free-to-play challenge for me. I'm currently running 3 accounts. I don't think I'm going to have the time. If she was that newt level fusion, right, that we always talk about, then maybe I would go for it. Because I know there's a lot easier, right, to fragment one. I agreed with everything that Jay said about those fragment fusions being the best ones to go for. So I might, give it a little college try on the back end and see if I can steal one. But I don't think I have time to do it, unfortunately.
Okay. Mr. PJ?
I go for every fusion, even the really crappy ones. I just kind of like doing them. I think it's something to do in the game, and I generally find that you do 70% of the fusion just playing the game, and then if you have the shard, that's like the rest of it. Especially being a fragment summon, I think it's good for people to try to go for, at least get some fragments. If you can't finish it, get as close as you can. They could offer you a pack, or you can turn it into High Mother mod. But I think she's generally pretty solid. I think for most accounts, she would be helpful. If you're super late game endgame, maybe not. But if you're super late game endgame, you probably gonna have the resources, so you should might as well anyways. I'd much rather have the champion and not use her than not have her and need her down the line. I mean, I'm sure that's a thing that Plarium loves me saying, because they're like, oh yeah, more FOMO. But I don't know. And that's how I kind of think. I'd rather have them and not use them. But yeah, I like doing it. I think people should go for her. Good for Chimera. People need Chimera help. Good for trials. Good for Hydra. Could be good for PvP. Definitely solid.
Okay. Dab Master?
Yeah, I'm going for it if I can. Again, kind of following what Roadblock just said, this free to play is just straight killing me, right? And focusing on that, as well as trying to keep the main up to date. And can Plarium fix the you need X amount of points to win this, 5-star soul for this champion, and tell us what we miss or whatever? Like, how hard is that? They tell us how much we gain on everything else in the game. Tell us what we miss. Because I think I missed something yesterday. Now I don't even know where my numbers are. And I know that's part of their little FOMO model or whatever, but it's pretty crappy to customer experience, in my opinion. And then kind of what PJ said, rather have her and not need her, and then need her and not have her. I mean, that bears true. I mean, what I will say, just to finish out on that thought, is Plarium is showing they are releasing new content, and they are actively trying to force us to break out champions out of the vault, right? So I just look down the road for if the champion gets buffed, or any of them, if they get buffed, or if new content comes out where, like, ooh, this champion is the go-to, right? Like, I'm thinking your Blizzard, like, oh, Blizzard can solo Sand Devil 25 with 4 food. That's a impressive thing, but on paper, Blizzard was like, I don't know, maybe I could skip this, right? So that kind of stuff just keeps popping into the game, and it's like, yeah, if you have the resources to go for it, and if you don't need her, you don't need her, but you never know.
I think Lana Tharo is a great example of that. A lot of people skip Lana Tharo because, like, at the time, no one really needed him or wasn't much in the game, and coming down
He's
the
really
line,
good.
he's really nice to have.
Fire Knight was a must with him for a while, so It's definitely I always have the thought of or the belief of don't skip out on a fusion. It's a champion that you can get passively by playing the game, and as long as you're playing raid or wait Shadow Legends or save Shadow Legends, you should be able to do it. And it's not a fun time, but it's what it is at this point, right? There's not much we can do about that. So
and I know
Ken,
we're running out of time. Let me just say one final thought right here
before
you mute me
again.
Yeah, no. Yeah, the other thing too is I when these champions come out, you kind of look at their kits and just say, are they doing something that nobody else is really doing, right? Like the one that I can think of that I specifically skipped was Morgan, and she had, you looked at her and say, oh, she has the unresistible protected debuff. And on paper, it's like, okay, she's not that good. But like when Armand's come out, like, boom, that was clutch. And so this one is changing those critical hits into something else and then boosting your attack champion. Like that's something that's not in the game. So when you see stuff like that, it may not work in today's content, but that's another way to look at it. Are they doing something else that no one else in the game is doing?
Also, Faction Guardians.
Yep.
That's true. Faction Guardians is definitely true. All right. Hey, Ken, where can people come and find you, bro?
Final Kenpachi, both YouTube and the Twitch. We are going live, guys, every single day at the Columbus Reset. Thank you.
Awesome. Jay, where can people come and find you?
You can find me both on Twitch and YouTube. One name, JR Star3.
All right. Gestel, where can everybody come find you?
Yeah, on Twitch and the YouTube's Gestel Gaming.
Awesome. PJ, where can everybody come and find you?
Twitch and YouTube, MXPJE, stream almost twice a day, every single weekday. Come say what's up.
Awesome. Roadblock, where can everybody come and find you, brother?
Also on Twitch and YouTube, I'm Roadblock. And real quick, I have a birthday coming up on the 22nd of February. We'll be celebrating. I'll be streaming all day. So I just wanted to invite everybody in the chat, invite all you guys if you ever wanted to come by and hang out. And that's it.
Awesome. We'll be there.
Yes.
Happy birthday.
Congratulations on leveling up, and that's just a little early. Zero, where can everybody come and find you, brother?
Yes, sir. Come find me on the Twitches and on the YouTubes. It has been cranking out the YouTube content, so come say hello. Zero Brew.
Awesome. Zero, I'm going to start off with you. What you got for a shout out for me, brother?
Yep. I got my man, Broken Not Dead. He is in the free-to-play series, and I'll grab his links and post them here in chat in just a second. But Broken Not Dead has reached out to me, and we are going to do our first collabs each together. So we're going to get together and do a little collab for the YouTubes. So shout out to my boy, Broken Not Dead.
Nice. He's going to pop your cherry.
Yes,
so,
he is. I was thinking about saying that, but I was refraining. But thanks for saying it anyway. There it is.
Yes. So what about you? What you got for a shout out for me?
I'm gonna shout out my man Airfern too, sitting there in chat. One of the best streamers out there, man. Go give him a follow on the Twitches. Airfern 2.
Even though he wants to nerf G-Nut.
Best part about him, man.
On the person.
Ken, what you got for a shout out for me?
I like to shout out to Sir Zapur. He's also the streaming mainly Raid Shadow Legends, guys. I'm gonna leave his channel link on here, so feel free to follow him, guys. Thank you.
All right, PJ, what you got for a shout out for me?
We're going to be giving a shout out to Mr. 4O. He's been on the channel before. He hangs out a lot. He's been, he was away from streaming a little bit, but he's back. He's been streaming a lot more recently. Awesome dude, doing the Chimera, Hydra, loves to think outside the box. Check him out, drop him a follow.
Awesome. And then Roadblock, what you got for a shout out for me?
I've got somebody new on the scene, Dante Raids. He is currently second place in the free-to-play challenge. He's the guy I mentioned that earlier. He's got 2 Harimas on his free-to-play challenge. God, it's crazy. But he is very new on the scene. I just did a collab with him the other day. I'll put his link in the chat. But yeah, really good dude and really knowledgeable on Raid too.
Awesome. And Jay, what you got for a shout out for me, bro?
Yeah, man. Shout out to Dithey Raids. I was gonna say that. He's been popping out a lot of YouTube content, and I think he's doing a good job, man. So definitely give him a subscribe and follow him.
Awesome. All right, guys. Hopefully the Eagles win the Super Bowl. We'll find out. We'll know next week, and we'll have a discussion about that as well. Thank you all so much for joining us this weekend. We are going to raid out to Mr. Reaper King over on the Twitch side, and YouTube, unfortunately, does not have anything like that yet. So when they implement that, we will. As always, guys, much love, much appreciation.